Let me see. Is it linear, interactive, or transactional? There are letter C's, but most of you are letter A. So it's letter A. Why letter A? Okay, yes, because when you recite a poem in front of the class, you just inform or you just perform, no? In front of the class. You don't have an interaction with the people who reading audience. So it's more on
yung 1 to
linear.
5 lang. Kasi dito sa
And next, focusing on the message
year 1
set.
to 5 lang. Yun lang may score ko sa kanya.
Focusing on the message set. Is it linear, interactive, and transactional? In this model, we focus only on the message. Okay, yes. It's letter A. It's letter A. If you focus on the message, it's linear.
Dito
Okay,
nakalagay yung mga
And last, posting
Dapat
message in a
makita
social
sa'yo.
media.
masahe.
So what model of communication? Letter,
Nakalagay dito
okay,
dapat
very good.
makita mo.
Letter
Yun ang
C,
nakalagay.
transactional. Because
Send ko sa'yo.
it's complex or full-time later. Okay, you got that, you still remember our
Medyo
lesson.
technical lang.
So that, let's have a pre-test. I already distributed you a 5-item test.
Ano
No? Please, you may write your answer in scratch in 1/4 sheet of paper. Write your name and number your paper 1 to 5. So you have 2 minutes only to answer the test.
Ayan, pwede mong tignan dito. Halimbawa, number 1. Ito yun. Applies knowledge and content. Dito mo malalaman kung anong score niya. Or ba, ikaw na yung magde-demo. Kailangan para maging 8 ka, makita sa'yo to. Yun nandito sa ito. Ako kasi itong model. Ay, hindi updated yung tool niya. Ano ba? Bakit magkaiba kami? 2023-2024 to eh. Highly proficient. Model. Tama, model. Hindi, model. Tama. Mali ito. Pang ano ko? Pang teacher 1, 2, 3. Mali yan. Pero okay na. Makikita dapat sa kanya ito. Ayan yung mga number. Ito yung features of practice. Yung ginagawa mo na ito. Kapag magde-demo ka, titignan mo ito. Kung ano yun nandito sa ilalim, kailangan nyo na makita sa iyo. Bali, ang teacher 1 kayo, ilang kayo?
Nabago po.
Dalawa. Tatlo. Tinatanong lang ako.
Are you done? Okay, so in that way, we believe that honesty is the best policy. So no need to exchange your paper. Just check your own word. Okay? Number 1 is letter D. Number 2 is D. Number 3, B. 4, A, and 5, A. Anyway, this is only a diagnostic test or a pre-test. So this is not recorded.
Science lab yun.
So again, that's not recorded because it's only a pre-test or diagnostic. Okay? So anyway, most of the items in your, all rather, not most, all of the items in your diagnostic test will be tackled this morning. So that if you got mistakes or wrong in some of the items, we are going to elaborate that. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, for our first activity, I'm going to show you a short video clip. Okay, maybe some of you are already familiar with that clip. Then after playing the video, I will ask some questions.
Takbo ka ng mga bote ng soft drinks. Bilisan mo! Kapag nila si Momo! Alin na, magkasama na ako! Bilisan mo! Ay, nahina ka na naman ako! Ay, yan na siya! Sinasabi ko eh. Hindi na na naman ako dito kausapin.
Oo, naman nito. Galit na agad. Nag-ilong lang ako eh. Pamili.
Ganda yan eh.
Okay, Pin.
Tuturuin naman naman yung tinuro ko sa'yo para maintindihan kita eh. Sama?
Mo and Min!
Ano daw?
Mo and Min! Malawang Mo and Min! Ngayaan mo lang Mo and Min!
Ay, naku, kahit ulit-ulitin ko na, hindi ko naintindihan. Alam ko na, natindihan na lang tayo, ha?
Grabe naman! Kaling ngawi, nanihimi Mo and Min! Kaling ngawi!
Ayaw mo! Ayaw mo! At inuwi, kakita siya ng alfabeto, pagkatapos hihinto siya doon sa letra hanggang ma-spell ko kung anong gusto niya bilhin. Eh, hindi ko ayaw mo, di ba? Lumayas ka, sa iba ka bumili. Sino na naman ako
Hindi!
kausap?
Hindi! Game na! Game na! Game na! Game na! Game! Kaling ngawi!
Kasi ito, magkakaroon sa'yo. Sige, 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 bilisan mo. Game.
Oh, game! Amy, Mimi, Pumi, Amy, Elemi,
Pero tiyon. Pero Mia sa atin lang. Oo, diba? Pagka maintindihan mo ba? Di ba hindi? Potato chips! Pareho lang pagdidig ko sa'yo eh. Okay. Potato chips! Pork chop kapag ito yun. Pork nacho beef. Pork sausage. Pork sausage. Bacon. Pork
May paki-forward ko na lang sa kanila ha.
Sige.
Okay, so let's process the video, no? Okay, by answering these questions. Okay, for the first question, what is the video all about? Yes.
It's about po a guy that wants to buy for the
Okay,
yes.
yes.
He has a commission for his no and that interrupt him about communicating to the vendor po about for him.
Okay, very good, very well said. Let's give him a round of applause, no? Actually, he was able to answer some of the questions, no? It's about a guy buying pork and beef. Okay, next. Okay, what communication barriers being shown in the scenario? Although he has mentioned it already, kindly elaborate the communication barrier.
Communication barrier that I have seen in the video is that the girl kind of education. You should observe proper and again like talking first and then after that the girl should talk after the guy has communicated what he wants to buy because he didn't the process he didn't finish with what he likes to say first. However, the girl interrupts with the boy with what he wants to convey the message
Yes.
to the girl. That is what communicating barrier that is see in the video. And second one is his ability to speak some different languages and different letters that he couldn't pronounce.
Okay. Yes, very good, very well said. So she was observed actually two barriers. First is the speech defect of the sender of the guy, and the other one is the attitude or behavior of the store owner while because she's interrupting the guy while he's buying or while she's buying the pork and piece. Okay, next question. In the last part of the video, did the sender and receiver understand one another on the last part of the video? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Okay.
Isa na receiver understand one another because of the
And
effort
sila
of
ka lang
the
saying link bros nyo na lang.
give
Okay. Thank you
give the
po.
message to
Send ko din po
store
pala,
and
sir.
the vendor so that they can buy the
Medyo marami kasi yan.
Okay, yes. What is the strategy that they use in order for them to understand one another?
You see the alphabet song
Sir, ano
and
po,
you stop
quarterly
with the
po?
letter. Starts with
4 times.
the word. You spell the word completely. Then the
I-schedule naman ang nire-release.
the girl in the store, the vendor, try to understand what is the meaning through the spelling. And then yes, sir.
Okay, yes, correct. No, very well said. No, through singing of the alphabet, that's the strategy that they use in order for them to understand one another. So in order for them to what? To address the barrier in communication. Now, question number 4. What do you say about the attitude or behavior of the characters in the video? Yes.
I can say that I've already mentioned by that the store owner lacks etiquette, and also the first part of the video, she was acting sort of, she was discriminating the guy from the video by calling the girl in the woman's suit, whatever it was, to help distract her for a bit, to make it seem like he was doing something. But with regards to the guy who has a speech disability, he was persistent into communicating
Matatalino pala itong
and
maestra
what
ko
he
eh.
wants to move on. And as for the other girl, he was just nonchalant.
Okay, very good. Very well said. Let's give her a big round of applause, no? And then we get one of the keywords that she has given or that she has mentioned is the etiquette, correct, no? So when you say etiquette, so it's about on how you communicate to other people, or you need to be careful with the words or with the language that you are using. Most especially, actually, this is one of the movies, no? One of the movies. And this movie has been watched by the teenagers or by the children. So it's one of the etiquette, no, or one of the guidelines, no. You need to be careful with the words or with the language that you are using, no, because you might be offended. Just like what we have said during our previous lesson, we might be offended other people with the words or with the language that we are using. Okay, good. Next lesson in the video. What do you think is the lesson? Another student, please. Lesson. Anyone? This line. Lesson.
The lesson take through the videos. You can communicate through other person. Use the
Other what? Strategy.
strategy to understand.
Yes, correct. No, because there's always a communication barrier. So when we communicate with one another. So, but the lesson is you need to use different strategies in order for us to address the barrier or to address the issues. Okay, with that, let's have a group activity. In our group activity, okay, you are already in your groups, no? And each group, you're going to read and analyze the situation that I have given to you. Then after that, you're going to fill in the template by identifying the source, the message, the receiver, the barrier, and the description. So please analyze the text and try to complete the
Barrier.
template based on the situation that I have given to you. And you only have, you will inform us yourself,
Barriers in the communication.
and you have 3 minutes, no, to do your activity.
Yes, sir.
Okay, timer starts now.
Madali lang yung lesson na niya. English major ka ba? English major ka ba?
Yes, sir. Favorite po yata ng mga English ng oral.
Oo. Ganda, ganda. Ganda. Picture mo naman kami.
Sama po yun sa amin.
Thank you. Parang lang.
Kinakabahan po siya sa inyo.
Pangit ng face. Ano, natatakpan yung o against the line.
Okay, please be reminded with your time, you only have 3 minutes to accomplish your task. Okay, just write only the keywords or the phrases. No need to write the complete sentence. The presenter will be the one who will elaborate your output.
So, Jeff, picture lang kita. Apa? Naka-video naman. Naka-video. Upload ko.
Okay, time's up. So 10 seconds extension. Okay, so once you are done, you may post your work on the board. Anyway, it's okay for them to see your output because you have different situations naman.
Ang bata naman si Sir Jeff sa picture. Gusto ko nga bumili ng ng GoPro or
Okay,
something
group 4 is already done.
hindi cellphone kasi battery. Eh, hindi ko pa
Okay, you may post your work on the board.
na
Just write only the keyword or phrase. Then the presenter will be the one who will elaborate or
madali kasi
expound
mag-score
your
pagka
idea. Do not write everything
Naka-record.
on the manila paper. No? Just write only the keyword or phrase. Okay, group 1, group 2, group 3, first group 4. Okay, you may post your output on the board. So this will be the group, where's the group 3? Please post your work here, dito, para dito group 4. So that it is arranged chronologically.
ito na yun ito na yung conversation.
Okay, then group 4, please post your output. And group 5. Sa bulletin board. You may post your output on the bulletin board. Ayan. Where's the group 4? Oh, group 4. You're not chat that. Okay. You may post your work and then the presenter will be the one who will elaborate or expound your idea. You may now present, you may now post your work on the board.
Objectives dun sa bawat.
Make sure that the presenter will explain the output. Okay? Please post it on the board.
Yung dito, siyang makikita dito.
Okay, so during presentation as one of our groups, you need to observe the etiquette of turn taking. Please listen while someone is presenting or
Tawag doon ay
recording your
annotation.
output. Okay, and choose representative
Annotate mo dito
or
sa gilid.
representatives to explainer output. Doon po, you may now push your work on the board.
Ito.
Okay?
Annotations yan. Para sigurado ka na lahat ng ginagawa mo.
Okay, so group 1.
Naka-base dito. Kita mo yung system.
Do you want to use microphone?
I-share ko mamaya wala sir.
Wala sa private yung ganyan.
Wala po. Ganito lang sir. Pero wala lang ganito. Ito na siya.
Subjective kasi. Subjective kasi to. Kailangan dito para objective ka.
Okay, so good morning everyone. Good morning to our teachers, Sir Yatamba. Good morning also to our visitors. I am with my company, Dominic Sanu. We are here to elaborate further with our given scenario, which is the family chaos during tonight with Arnold Cloud. Here, our source in the scenario is the TV show episode from tonight with Arnold Cloud. He is the one who is he is the sender with our given scenario. And the message.
Well, the message is not really clear because they can't really understand it because of the barriers that's happening in the receiver.
The receivers, of course, would be the family because the family is watching the episode of Tonight with Arnold Claudio. And within the barrier,
So the barriers, so there's the dogs part, there's the washing machines, there's a blender blending up the shakes, the smoothies, and overall they're getting from the family. It all computer-based stuff as background noise, which obstructs the message from reaching the family. And lastly, the description of the barrier.
okay, so with what Dominic said, these examples, they block the source to send a message to the receiver, and it is an example of external noises. Some of these have distracted the family to understand what the message was being conveyed by the source. And that is our elaboration and explanation with our group report. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, so very good output though because it's very evident, no? And during their explanation, although it is not written on the Manila paper, they mentioned about the type of barrier. Actually, they mentioned it as external. Because, why is it external? Because of the noises here, no? The machine, the blender, and yelling from the family. So those are the noises from our surroundings. Okay, very good. Next, group 2. Group 2.
Greetings everybody, my name is Juliana Maricina Villanueva and I am accompanied by and we are here, Group 2, to present our work. And we were asked to identify the source message receiver barrier and the description of the barrier of a given situation entitled Conversation Hitler by Different.
As we observed, the source is from Alex because from the storyline, Alex comes to Sarah, who's friend. We observed that Sarah is depressed and has some internal problems that Alex wanted to solve. He wanted to communicate, however, there's barriers that Alex wanted to solve. The source is Alex, and the message was Alex wanted to address Sarah's personal problems by formulating different strategies of communicating to obscure the difference of this problem. And the receiver is Sarah.
Sarah encountered a barrier in communicating her feelings given because of her internal noises. Due to her depression, she couldn't express how she feels, and we have also observed that she stuttered a lot and also couldn't really let out the words she wants to let out. The description of internal noise, the barrier, are the thoughts that bother a person, but in this case, the receiver, Sarah. And now I hope everybody
Ano makakapag-feedback yung ano?
depression shouldn't
Yung ibang group, di nila alam yung tinutukoy nila.
other people, and that is how we will end their presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so let's give them a big clap because a very comprehensive discussion, no? Okay, so let me get again the keyword, no? Okay, like this, no? The internal noise. They mentioned it because it's a mental barrier or it's a depression. Because of the depression, it is considered as the internal noise. And they gave us also a lesson on life that depression is existing talaga. So all we have to do is to address it, no? In order for us to communicate effectively with other people. Okay, good. Next, group 3.
Possible ba yung ano? yung siya na magbigay nung
Group, sorry, group 1 is external, group 2
nila
is
sa isang
internal, group
na
3.
lahat. Para isa lang, tapos lahat sila
Ah,
alam nila yung takbo
let's
ng
see.
kwento.
Okay, so good morning everyone. Good morning, sir. Good morning, teachers. I am assuming this is my co-member. Kasi and we are here to represent the group of groupings. First, before we tackle or discuss about the table that we got, first, let's discuss about the topic that we got. Sir. The title is Navigating
Nandun
Cultural
yung
Barriers in
barriers.
Business Education. So the character are Sarah, a businesswoman, and Ahmed, a businessman. So if you're going to think about it, about the title only, you can say that this kind of communication is a linear way.
Saka paano na-identify ng estudyante yung ano,
So the
yung
source, where are
type of
Sarah
barrier
and Ahmed?
kung hindi naman
And the message,
binibigay pa ni teacher.
because of them having
Meron na ba siyang prior
Ano sir,
knowledge?
sa ano po, yung lesson 1 po namin sa,
Nandun na yun.
sa NICE.
building a personal relationship. For
Ako mag-identified na.
Opo, ano na lang po. Ito din po yung sa lesson
Just like the
1.
source, just like what I
Kumbaga,
said,
ngayon, yung barrier
is
lang.
kind of
In-emphasize.
awkward, kind of interactive way of
Yung
communication.
lesson 1, ano,
So the
ano ang ano
receiver
niya?
are Sarah and Ahmed, both of them.
Focus.
Lesson 1 po namin yung elements of communication. Ito po yun, yung source messages.
Pero lalabas na dun yung term na cultural barrier.
Yes sir, ito na dun kasi parang meron dun types of barrier, meron din.
So the last part of our table
Sana na-recall
was
niyan.
description of barrier. So cultural barrier or communication barrier happen due to different beliefs, instincts, values, and traditions, both having a different cultural background, resulting to a bad communication and bad understanding of each other. And that's how we
Dito
end
lumabas sa
our
pre-test.
Okay, so very good also. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, group 3, of course, yes, it's very observable that it's cultural barrier. And very good that you were mentioned the
Kasi kung
different
ano yung
cultures
different
here.
nila alam
It's Sarah's culture, time is money in her business, right? So, Sarah believed that time is money in their business. But, believe that building a personal relationship before discussing business is important. So, for Sarah, time is very important. And then for building relationship is important. So they have different point of view, they have different beliefs. So therefore, that serve as barrier when they talk as a business partner because they have different point of views. Okay, correct? Next,
Pagka
group 4.
observe ka, natural, maganda yung ginawa mo. Ang pag-uusapan natin after your
So many
observation,
characters.
paano i-improve
Alex
yung
also is a
lesson.
character girl.
Kasi magaling ka na eh, teacher ka na eh, di ba? So, pag nagpo-post ko, ang pinag-uusapan, paano natin i-improve lalo yung lesson mo. Para sa susunod, mas ma-improve ka pa. Kasi given na si teacher, magaling na siya. So, dapat ang pagtutulungan ninyo after hindi yung ginawa mo. Kumbaga, yung future pa na dapat na mas ma-improve yung pinag-uusapan. So, pagka nag-postpone kayo, yun ang i-expect mo. Hindi yung ginawa mo. Hindi ka mag-focus sa ginawa mo. Kung hindi yung next step.
Constructive naman sir.
Okay. So yun yung habang nag-observe ako, yun yung iniisip ko na what could I give as an input para sa susunod na discussion mas ma-enhance pa yung yung lesson.
So sir, yun din yung mahanapin yung next part.
Mm.
Okay, yes. Yes, you may add.
Sarap magturo sa STEM. Teacher ako ng STEM eh.
Okay, yes, that's considered as physical barrier. Is it considered as physical barrier?
Yes, then
Okay, later we will validate that if it is a physical barrier, no? Because they mentioned that the barrier is the speech defect of the person. It is synonymous to the video that we have watched, right? No? So that's also the barrier in your situation or in your scenario. Okay? Okay, good. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay? So that's the speech. Is it a speech impediment? It's a speech defect, no? It's a speech defect. Okay, that's the barrier. Later, we will try to validate this answer if speech defect is considered as physical barrier. Okay? Okay, next group, last.
So good morning everyone and the visitors. So this is the word of group 5. These are efforts. So our title is Loss in Translation, Idiomatic Expression. So who is the source of these transactions? So Mark is the source of a message that uses idiomatic expressions or idiomatics. So the message is, we're going to knock it out from the park. Hit the ground running while being the driver's seat. So there's some meaning behind this idiomatic expression with this. It is the, we're going to knock out of the park, means the, we say a great job. So it's just meaning a great job. And the receiver is Anna. It's not native English speaker. So there is a language barrier of the transaction. So the receiver, Anna is the receiver who is having the truth is in the because understanding some of the idiomatic expression or uses barrier. Barrier is used in idiomatic expression that Anna may misinterpret. It can be not able to comprehend what he's saying. So the illustration of the barrier, jargon refers to the set of specialized barrier essential. To avoid communication breakdown, due to the lack of clarity, advanced protagonist use simple words that can easily understood by the receiver. So, our barrier po is language barrier.
Okay, so that's the language barrier. Okay, later we will validate if it is language barrier. Okay, I have some question now. What's the idiomatic expression that they use in their conversation?
We're going to knock out it out of the park.
But the receiver wasn't able to understand that, right, no? Because the sender is using idiomatic expression in the daily conversation. But the problem is, the receiver was not able to understand the message. So that is the barrier, no? Because the speaker is using idiomatic expression. Then, he said that it's a language barrier. Later, we will find out if it is the language barrier. Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, so, okay with that, so since you have presented your output, so let's answer these questions. Okay, first, what are the causes of communication breakdown based on the situation that I have given to you? Why there's a communication breakdown in the scenario? Yes.
There are some communication breakdown like internally or externally, which affects the communication process that interfere how message transmits to the receiver that they cannot understand each other and cannot share feedback and resolve different issues or share information.
Okay, very good. So that's the barrier. No? He mentioned about the word interfere. Because of the barrier, it interfere or it hinder the transmission of the message to the receiver. Next, number 2. So talking about barriers, what are the different barriers of communication that cause communication breakdown? Group 1, they have what barrier? Okay, that's the external. Group 2, what is the barrier? Internal. Group 3, cultural. Group 4, okay, speech defect. Later, we will find out if it is physical. And group 5, what's the barrier? Okay, language or idiomatic. They are using idiomatic expression. Later, we will find out that if using idiomatic expression is the linguistic barrier. Okay? So those are the different barriers. Now, different examples of communication barrier. Ginayon. How to avoid these barriers? Actually, you mentioned that, no? In our next activity, you will give us different strategies on how to avoid these barriers. And last question, what did you learn from the situation given to your groups? The first group, what did you learn from the situation, based on the situation that I have given to you? Yes.
In our scenario, family, rules in their own activities in order to avoid discrimination.
Yes, so in your situation, you have to prepare, no? You have to settle down, you prepare everything no, that you're going to use, no? When you talk to one another. Okay, next group 2. What did you learn from the situation that have given?
I learned how to be a good friend and also a good person to myself. A good friend, because from Alex's perspective, I would be the one to initiate a connection with someone in order for me to be better. Whereas for being a better person to myself, I would be a more positive person and be more open to communicating other
Yes.
my things to other people. So I can be
Ibang part ng lesson.
Okay, very good. No, she talked about relationship. No, if you are really a good friend, you are there to listen to your friend, even if there are barriers in communication, even if he or she is depressed, frustrated, etc. Okay, group 3. What have you learned from the situation?
The lesson that we learned about integration and even about that your village is not for everybody. We are
Yes.
all different. Your village may not be the same as this person. So you really have to understand it. Take a chance to understand their point of view and their opinion. So the both of you can have a good communication and good communication and good community, good connection to each other.
Okay, so very good. She mentioned the keyword is the understanding. No? Very good. No? Even if there are differences, because differences exist, there are differences in this world. There are cultural differences in this world, and it is existing. So all we have to do is to understand those differences. Next, group 4.
The lesson learned that we learned in our seminars, Alex is a speech independent, believer, is very speech, normal speech, kaya ay pagdating sa reality,
Sana yung kuya mo.
more respect for
Yes.
Ilan anak na po?
Ano po, sir? Tatlo po.
Kasi pag ano,
Okay, very well said. He mentioned the keyword respect, no? So that's very important that we need to respect the people, those who have speech defect.
yung
No?
asawa.
Call center, sir.
Okay.
Okay, very good, very well said. Next, last group.
Ang realization ko sa
We
mga
learned that
pasaway ng
in order to
estudyante,
make a good conversation with other,
hindi naman yun ang final destination nila. Minsan kahit ano may
we need to
ayos
consider
rin.
Sulat ba nito, sir?
Okay.
We need to use a simple word to communicate with one another, especially with non-native language use.
Okay, very good. So, because the native language user they are not familiar with the words or with the idiomatic expression that you are using, right? Okay, good. Okay, so actually you mentioned it already that group 1 is the physical barriers, no? So they explained that, no? Those are the examples that they have given in group 1 are considered as physical barriers. People talking too loud, noise from construction site, loud sound of karaoke. So the situation or the example of the barriers that they have mentioned, the machine, noises from the machine, from the blender, and yelling from the family, these are considered as physical barriers. Because these are the natural or environmental conditions. So those are the noises that exist from our environment. Okay, next barrier is for the group 2, that is the psychological barrier. So psychological barrier because it refers to the mental barriers. In that situation, group 2, so that is considered also as internal noise because that person is depressed. So if you are depressed, so it is considered as the mental barrier. So therefore, it is psychological. And psychological is one of the example of internal noise. So you may categorize that as it's either internal or psychological. But when it refers to the behavior or to the attitude or to the mental barrier, so it is considered as psychological. Okay. For group 3, so you mentioned it already, the cultural barriers, no? Because you mentioned it that we have different cultures, different beliefs, so we have to respect. And these are the examples of cultural barriers. Different beliefs, traditions, manner of dressing, and speaking. And for group 4, you have mentioned is it linguistic? Okay, speech defects or language impairment. Okay, linguistic barriers pertain conflicts with regard to the language and word meaning. Since that person has speech defect, there is a problem to the language that he or she is using. So therefore, in this group, we can categorize that as linguistic barriers. Because of his speech defect, there are problems with the language that he is using when he communicates. Is that clear? So linguistic refers to the language, accent, jargon, slang, and speech defects or language impairment. Okay? And for group 5, okay, it's external noise. It's already explained. It's synonymous to the physical barriers. And internal noise, okay, it is synonymous to the psychological barriers. These are the external noise and these are the internal noises. And lastly, okay, the last group, it is considered as semantic noise. Semantic noise are the alternate meaning aroused by speaker's symbol. This idea means that a word may have another meaning in the mind of the student. So therefore, in the last group, in their situation, they use the idiomatic expression. And idiomatic expression can be understood by some, but there are others who can understand it. So it is considered as semantic noise. Or in other words, to make it simple, semantic noise when refers to the construction of a sentence or sentence construction. So sometimes you cannot understand the message. Is that clear? So please don't be confused with the linguistic and the semantic. Semantic refers to the construction of a sentence. Since you have speech defect, there was a problem in constructing your statement or your sentence. Is that clear? Okay, so that's question. So those are the type of the noises. And according to the application, you haven't learned your lesson until you apply what you've learned. And for our application, based on the same situation, based on the situation, same situation from group 1 to 5, you're going to identify the strategies that you will use to avoid communication breakdown through differentiated activities. Group 1 is role-playing, Group 2 is yell, tableau for Group 3, illustration 4, and 5 is the papers. Again, in this case, you need to focus on how are you going to address the barriers in your group. Because in our scenario, there are no, these strategies that are being mentioned in the text. Okay? All you have to do is to provide strategies. And you have, this is your criteria pala, organization and teamwork. Exit 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. Yun. And you have 3 minutes again to do your activity. Okay, you will start. Please focus on the strategies to address those barriers. Okay, it's okay. Okay, so time is up. Okay, please go back to your respective group.
Sir, sa amin po, sir,
Ay,
ano, 1 to
please go
5
back to your proper seat, brother. Okay, so please.
Sinend ko sa GC kanina.
Okay, Lisa.
Ayun.
May picture.
Okay, everybody please settle down.
Kulay green.
Okay, so for always remember our rule, observe the etiquette of turn taking. When someone is presenting, please listen to their presentation. Okay? That's our rule in this classroom or in oral communication in order for us to understand one
Di ba
another.
ba?
Okay, for group 1 again, let's recall your barrier. You have physical barrier, no, in your scenario. Okay, how are you going to address that? The floor is yours. Okay, we start.
Mas meron kasi sila ni sir. Ano, parang Tapos yung pinaka-expand ko. Parang
Good morning, everyone. This is the presentation of Group 1 for the communication barrier. The scene is set in the living room of a suburban home. The family is gathered around the TV, eagerly awaiting the start of the night with Arnold Flavio. The room is filled with noises of family life, like dishes clinking in the kitchen, the dog barking, and the washing machine humming.
Seseryosohin yung mga yun. Gagawin mo lang doon ganito. Pasan mo yung lesson. Discuss mo na. Kasi mabubunik yun eh.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Discuss mo na
welcome
yung
to our
lesson.
Daily Episode
Discuss mo
of
na.
Night with Arnold Flavio.
Wait ka lang. Tapos, assessment na. Ngayon, ang mga laro, ang mga activity ibibigay nyo doon, mga games. Pagkatapos, mag-set kayo ng rule about doon sa discipline. Magpaano kayo, point system kayo, plus minus, yun ang mga ano ng mga ganyan, mga estudyante. Ang activity nyo, tapos bago magsimula ng lesson, consent sabihin mo muna. Nung nagtuturo ako ng mga pasaway, bago ako magturo, ang motivation ko, yung mga Thai movies na Thai commercial, Thai ads na may mga values, about parent, about replay ko muna yun para syempre maano sila, yung kanilang emotions nila. Yan, doon ka ngayon papasok na puro pagpapahalaga kung i-discuss mo muna bago mo pasok ng lesson. Kasi sila, yung mga yan, may mga yan, mga kalokohan. So, kailangan mo ngayon pagmamahal.
That was the presentation of group.
Kulang sila sa... Kulang sa
Okay, how do you address the barrier? By giving enough time for everybody to watch the
Kailangan maramdaman nila
show.
malaki.
Okay, correct. Next, group 2. Your psychological barrier.
Download na ako ng maraming mga...
Okay, for group, I think one of the barriers also is the mental barrier, psychological barrier. Some of you are too shy, are not confident. So that's also a barrier in your presentation. Okay, group 2. So you're focusing on psychological barrier.
Na sila, walang niyak sila. Tapos ako ay sasabakan ng pag-discuss ng about values formation muna, yung mga ganun, more on life skills. Yung mga, ang gusto ng mga yan, magkwento ka ng mga experiences mo sa buhay mo. Yun. Tapos yung kwento mo, interested yung mga yan. Tapos dun sa baka lesson mo, i-relate mo lagi yung lesson mo sa buhay na kung sino man. Yan ang mga gusto ng mga yan.
Sila tumahimik sila. Hindi kinuwento ako.
Break away from the chains that you can see. You can share to me
Tapos,
like
pagka may idle time kayo, alam mo, nagpapa-activity kami, idle time kayo. Pwede naman, nakita mo yung sa interview mo, kailan kayo magkakasalit, o anong trabaho ng parents mo, get to know them. Personally, magiging connection kayo, mahiya silang bastusing ka. Kasi,
Okay, very good. Okay, so as you can see, based on the lyrics of the song, no, so it's more on being a friend. No, you need to listen. You need to share your answer. Share your problem rather, in order for you to understand one another. Okay, very good. Okay, let's give them a round of applause, no? Because that is the psychological barrier. Now, if there are friends who have problems,
yung sa
so
culture,
you need to help them as a friend.
yung
No, group
may
three.
kinalaman sa
So cultural. But if you have cultural barrier for group 3, how are you going to address it?
Oo, meron.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Ma'am Minister. And we are and we are here to represent our work, which is tablet. So our topic is the same as the first one. So the setting is about the business negotiation between Ahmed and Sarah. But the thing that we're going to do is to give you ways to prevent the cultural barriers. So, the number one you must really, you need to do for meeting a someone, especially when it
Kung
comes
meron
to
akong
business,
gustong
you really
makita
have to
sa
do this.
lesson na to
Especially
ngayon,
when you're going to meet
Yung ano,
someone from another country, you really
pictorial picture analysis.
research about their cultural background. Especially as I said earlier, my belief is not your belief. My opinion is not your opinion. My tradition is
Kasi
not
diba,
about your tradition. So you really
ano pa ba?
have to
Yung ano, yung
research about your background. So in this scene, you're going to see Ahmed,
konting
who's
storytelling.
this man from Saudi Arabia, reading a book about Guide to American British culture. And the second one is Sarah, who's reading a book about Arabic business culture. So this is the first strategy that we think about when you're dealing with a cultural buyer in business.
Hindi ko po yun.
So,
Kulang
the
lang
second
sa
one, as I
pagmamahal,
said
tsaka sa
earlier,
attention.
in the first one, you're going, it's just a personal meeting. It's just yourself dealing with someone. So in the second one, you're going to talk with somebody. So this kind of somebody is a native person from different country. You can get them, you can ask your friends or ask
Akala
your
mo siya?
friends if they know someone who is,
Anong defect?
who's from about that country.
Yun ang
So in the second scene, you're going to see
Naligan ko nung upuan kasi nakaupo siya sa
Ahmed's friends teaching
may
him
toyo lang
about
naman.
the cultural or about the etiquette of American people
Hindi pala
when
siya
it comes to business. And the second one is the same as I told you in the first one.
Nagaling nila, ano?
So in the third scene, okay, the third scene, I think this is very, very important also. As I said, I think all of our strategy is very, very important. But this third one is very, very important. You really have to do this. You really
Nakakapag-express talaga sila, literally,
The
ano?
third one is simply understanding what the person is saying. I think in communication, there's really a conflict about it. But you really have to do is understand and respect someone's tradition and belief. So you really have to have a good communication. So in this scene, you're going to see Ahmed and Sarah agreeing to someone or agreeing to something about their business activity. So this is the end of our work. Thank you for listening.
Okay, very good. Okay, they were able to address the cultural barrier through understanding one another. And based on the first, they will read about the cultures of Arabic and the culture of America. No? So through knowing their cultures, you can understand or address cultural differences. Next group, group 4. So group 4, what is the barrier?
Our illustration that is, in our barrier is
Linguistic.
linguistic, and our solution to this is that in this scenario, Alex approach Taylor to about their project, and Taylor can understand what Alex saying. And Alex said that she can use paper to write what she saying to understand. So Taylor to understand what she's saying. In this scenario, give the paper to Taylor to understand. What is saying.
Okay, you will explain?
We just write the equation of then we also look at what she's going to say. I want you to going to go in.
Okay, very good, very well said, no? And they are going to address the issue through non-verbal, no? You can use also non-verbal communication in order for you to address the issue if the person has a speech defect, okay? Okay, good, very good, no? So, in their illustration, they've said that they will write the message in a sheet of paper then so that we could understand one another. Okay, then last group. See the last group, group 5? So what's your barrier, group 5? Semantic. Oh, semantic barrier. Okay?
So good morning everyone and visitors. So we are assigned to make a simple book about our barrier. So this is titled Ang Unawa. Wika ay talagang napakahalaga. Ito'y gumaganap na tila mamika. Mula sa pagbigkas ng mga salita hanggang sa simpleng pagkurap ng mga mata. Wika, ano kang ba talaga? Tubahin pundasyon o harap sa madla. SAW ang Ingles ng nakita. Parehas sa lagari kapag sinaling wika. Wika, ano ba ang iyong ginawa? Ikaw ba ay talagang taga-konekta? Ito'y tila isang sinulit na tagahabi ng komunikasyon sa iba't ibang bahagi.
Okay, very good, no? How are we going to address the issue?
So as we heard, it's all about the other meaning of the language. So that SAW and in Tagalog is nakita, then in other words, nagari. Right?
Okay.
So I can address the barrier by this book so that we can learn about
ganito
something
pala sa
that's
slide.
and we
Iyak ko
can
na lang.
understand each other by means of learning our culture. So thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, knowing the different idiomatic expression. Okay, with that, give yourself a big round of applause. Okay. So, I know that since you have already answered all the activities, it seems that you are ready to take your quiz. Get 1/4 and number your paper 1 to 5 only, no? This is recorded.
Ayan, tapos na ako kay Sir Jeff. Score na ako.
Do not write anything on the test paper, no? Just write your answer on your paper.
Babalik ko na to kay Sir Jeff. Gusto ko may kopya ka. Meron naman yan dun eh. Meron naman yan sa tracker.
Okay, and commercial, no, for the information of everybody,
Meron na to
let me
doon
correct
sa
you. They are not visitors, no. The lady at the back, she's one of the English teachers, and sir wearing a polo, he's our principal. They are not visitors in this school. They are part of our school. Ma'am Roby and Sir Jack. Okay, and our school head, Sir Big, no. Next time, please don't call them visitors.